Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Historic Headstones of Norfolk. We are in the beautiful Cedar Grove Cemetery in downtown Norfolk, off of Monticello and Princess Anne, if you don't know where it is. We are in Paupers Field or Paupers Field, either which way you want to pronounce it or want to say it, it's not wrong. We are pretty much in the southwest corner of the cemetery. This whole area where you see very little headstones is Paupers Field, all the way along the walls. For many reasons that we don't live as equals, we don't die equally either, and we certainly aren't always remembered the same. These days, most people who die in Norfolk get a viewing, memorial service, and a possession of cars with a police escort to a burial plot. If you had less money or fewer friends and family to cherish your memories, you would get a scaled-back version of funeral rites. For a scattered few, with no loved ones surviving, no money left behind for a service or burial, the remains disappear quietly in the earth. The diligence of the hospital and morgue workers, law enforcement, social workers, charitable funeral homes is all that lends dignity to deposing the remains of those who died lonely and poor. Generations before, they were buried in paupers' graves, or paupers' fields as it's called here, or old-fashioned potter's fields. You can't go wrong saying both. They both are the same thing. A phrase derived from the Bible referring to the infertile grounds from which potters scooped clay. Many of the plots have no grave markings or just a few scattered stones throughout Paupers Field. As you can see here, there is many without stones. I'd say there's only about 20 stones in here and roughly 500 burials, 600 burials. 150 years ago, a combination of charity and public assistance was employed in Norfolk. It was used to be by the city, who footed the cost of the burial and plot. The city owned the cemetery and gave up a plot for burial and paid for a basic wooden coffin. And cemetery workers did the burial, and there was no funeral or wake. 120 years ago, it only cost the city $2 to bury you, and that included the coffin. So it didn't really cost the city that much to bury you. Okay, so if you're poor and die now, you're cremated, not buried. This is now standard practice for many cities and cemeteries. And depending on what they do with your ashes, they can put you in storage. They save you until they find family and then give the family the ashes. Different situations here. The cool thing about this is one of the first Paupers Fields in Norfolk. This whole area here is. Now, if you look behind that wall there is a trench that was dug in 1855 along that back wall. There's 100 people buried in there as a pit for yellow fever victims. This one here this Paupers Field has yellow fever victims. And if you go over to Princess Anne and Hampton Boulevard over in Ghent, not far from here, like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, there is a burial pit of 500 people, I believe, in there as well. And it's a city park now, and nobody realizes it, but they're walking on top of a huge pit of burials. So if you ever come over to Cedar Grove, come take a walk through here. We do have stones here. Some of them, I found the oldest stone here. It's over there, and it's from 1806, and that is officially the oldest stone in the cemetery, even though the cemetery opened in 1825. There were earlier burials here before it officially became a cemetery. All right, guys, take care and have a great day. We'll see you later.